Good morning. Let's update you what is happening right here in Mbonyi Kenya. So the Central Bank of Kenya has released an updated banknotes of 50 Kenya shillings, 100 Kenya shillings, 200 shillings, 500 shillings, as well as the 1,000 Kenya shillings. So some of the changes made in this new banknotes are the signature of the Central Bank of Kenya Governor, where it will be of Dr. Kamau Thuge, as well as the signature of Principal Secretary of the National Treasury, where it will be that of Dr. Chris Kipto. So the year of publication will also indicate the year 2024, and as the bank remains vigilant to curb counterfeit notes. The security thread on the note will have color-changing effects when tilted slightly that are specific to each note nonetheless. So these new banknotes will be similar to the previous notes and circulate alongside the previous notes. On to matters education, the government, through the Office of the Principal Secretary for Higher Education, Dr. Beatrice Muganda, has announced the extension of the application process for university funding and scholarship by 10 days from August 5th to the August 15th. The PS further encouraged students who sat for the KCSE last year, 2023, to apply swiftly to benefit from the extension, even as she addressed the university funding debate. Anthony Mwangi with that story.
Office of the Principal Secretary of Higher Learning Education, Beatrice Muganda, has sought to demystify the new funding model.
Raised during our engagements is that some students have yet to apply for university funding because they have not received their national identity cards. We understand the urgency of this matter and assure all stakeholders that the government is working diligently to expedite the issuance of new identity cards. We want to inform prospective students that they can still apply for scholarships and loans without having an identity card.
In what the government terms as sharing the burden, the Ministry of Education, through the Office of the Principal Secretary of Higher Learning Education, Beatrice Muganda, has sought to demystify the new funding model. The model, which will see the government offer up to 70% scholarships for Band 1 students considered to be the most needy and only 30% to Band 5 students considered to be somewhat better off, will see some parents pay as little as 6,120 Kenyan shillings a year and others pay up to 244,800 Kenyan shillings per year.
Advocates for the creation of an education fund to enhance access to equity and quality of education and training at the university and tertiary college levels, with the aim of providing relevant and adequate skills and competencies in strategic disciplines to spur industrial and economic development in line with the aspirations of Kenyans.
Students are being urged to use digital links to apply for the funding through the 3 links, that is www.hef.co.ke or www.helb.co.ke, where they will be led to portals and use their KCSE index numbers to log in and update their profiles.
Are critical. And as you know, the government has embarked on a very ambitious project of building 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic. And already the government is establishing digital hubs in every ward in this country. So that makes access to this digital infrastructure very easy.
This could prove as a relief for some parents compared to the between 40 to 54,000 Kenyan shillings school fees paid in high school. Anthony Mwangi, TV 47.
Right, moving on as we take a look at the next story, getting into what happened yesterday at the memorial site. Survivors and families of the victims of the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombing on Wednesday gathered at the memorial site for prayers in commemoration of the victims of the deadly attack. Compensation for the victims has remained a major grievance throughout the year, as the numbers of victims and family members are yet to receive compensation. 26 years later, an auditor tells us more.
Siku haikuwa siku mzuri, ilikuwa siku mbaya. Ilikuwa Friday na mzee alikuwa anakuja town asubuhi.
Survivors and the families of victims of the attack today revisited the harrowing memories of the 1998 bombing that devastated their lives. The incident, which occurred at the then U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, at the time located next to the Cooperative Bank House on August 7, 1998, resulted in the deaths of 213 people and left over 4,000 others injured.
I was 12 years old, so I was still a kid. Life hasn't been easy as always, so we always try as much as we can to live a day at a time. A few of us, then things were always hard. They've been hard.
In commemoration of the 26th anniversary of this tragic event, victims and their families gathered at the Memorial Park to honor those they lost. This year, as in previous years, the attendees reiterated their call for compensation, particularly for those victims who are not employees of the U.S. Embassy.
Serikali ituhurumie, itulipe, ifuatilie hiyo kesi yetu ndio tupate kitu angari.
Tunaomba tu serikali itusaidie kufuatilia hii mambo ya bomb blast, kwa sababu sio sisi, sio Kenya ilitekeleza hiyo mambo.
Progress has been made in the quest for justice and recognition for the victims. The U.S. Embassy has compensated its citizens who were affected by the bombing. However, the families of the non-U.S. citizens who perished or were injured in the attack continue to advocate for similar recognition and financial support.
Last year they came up and we were told the case is almost over and there were plans of compensation and everything else, but nothing much has come, just communication, nothing official.
The memorial event has underscored the persistent need for justice and healing. As families remember their loved ones and reflect on the progress made, they remain steadfast in their demand for comprehensive compensation and support, ensuring that the voices of those who are affected are not forgotten. Ann Odida, TV 47.
Most definitely, 26 years later, we still remember them. For 200 people lost their lives. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Moving on, finally, the popular gospel artist Israel Mbonyi landed in the country Wednesday for the worship experience, which will be held this Saturday at Ulinzi Complex Stadium. Speaking at a press conference at Sankara Hotel in Nairobi, the Rwandan artist thanked Kenyans for coming out in large numbers. He also invited people from all walks of life to attend the event. Cape Media, the mother company of TV 47 and Radio 47, are the main media partners.
I'm just a nobody who have accepted God's calling on his life and being available and ready to serve. And seeing you all of here come here to support this is just amazing. Thank you, EAWA, and thank you for everybody who has been partnering with them to make sure this goes as planned. I'm here, I'm ready to serve, and I can't wait to see you on Saturday and have the best night of worship. God bless you.
It's definitely a worship experience you don't want to miss. Now, in Baringo, 5 people, 4 from the same family, have died, with 1 person still missing in a landslide witnessed in Baringo County. And as Elizabeth Atieno now tells us, 5 people have been rescued so far.
Silence, only disturbed by a stranded hen in this home located in Kapchebukel village, Baringo County. Clearly, all is not well. 4 members from this homestead, a mother and her 3 children, have perished in the Tuesday night deadly landslides that rocked this area, leaving a total of 5 people dead. 5 people have been rescued so far.
Nimepoteza mama, nimepoteza kijana mdogo, nimepoteza kijana katikati ya form 1. Hii imetusa sisi kabisa. Tulikuja usiku jana, tukakuja kuangalia na tukaruta asubuhi. So tulikuja kushughulikia kutafuta mwili mpaka tukapata, tulianza kupata ya mama na mwisho tukapata ya mtoto mmoja tena.
Only the father and his son live to tell the tale of the unfortunate turn of events.
So mimi ndio nasikia uchungu sana. Nyumba ya mzee imeenda yote, kuku yangu imeenda yote, store, kila kitu. So mimi sina kitu.
Kuna watu ambao wako traumatized sana kwa sababu ya hii maafa. Kupoteza watu 4 wa jamii moja sio rahisi, ni kitu ngumu sana.
Landslide also hit Kapkombe area, burying a local woman alive. The woman's house has been covered by mud from the landslide, with 2 graves from the homestead swept away.
Yesterday at around past midnight, we had a series of mudslides that happened within the ridge of Tugen Hills, and more specifically along the Kapkombe area, that is Baringo North Sub-County, and Kasisit area in a village called Chebogel.
As we toured the scene, the destruction from the landslide is still evident. Kenya Red Cross and the Baringo County Disaster Department have since embarked on a search and rescue mission for 1 person that is still missing.
Baringo County government, the road infrastructure is affected by this disaster, and we hope the rain will subside so that we can respond properly.
Area residents have been urged to move to safer grounds as the rainy season is expected to continue. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
From Baringo, let me take you to Parliament, where the National Assembly Committee on Appointments on Wednesday failed to approve the Cabinet nominee for Gender, Culture and Arts, that is Stella Soilangat. The committee decided that she was not capable of handling the Ministry of Gender. However, she is fit to serve in other capabilities and capacities.
The hope of Stella Soilangat to join President William Ruto's government as a cabinet secretary has suffered a setback after the National Assembly Committee on Vetting dropped the X on her. Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah said that after thorough vetting and engaging her, the committee was not convinced that she can hold the position of cabinet secretary, especially for the gender docket. Among the reasons for her disqualification for the docket include the nominee failed to demonstrate adequate knowledge of topical administrative and technical issues touching on the Ministry of Gender, Culture, Arts and Heritage, to which she has been nominated. Another reason why the committee rejected her is that even though the nominee had held positions in government, serving in the public service, is that those positions did not require long-term strategic planning. As a result, she has not become grounded in any specific leadership role. So it was among the first batch of 20 cabinet secretary nominees vetted Thursday last week. Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah noted that some of the responses from Soi during vetting were not gender sensitive as required of the holder of the office, and that she also fumbled on her responses.
Had a nominee like this serving in a high office like that of cabinet secretary, she may not sit well to serve the public in a manner envisaged by our statutes and the expectations of the public.
She was set to replace former Cabinet Secretary for Gender Aisha Jumwa, who was dismissed from her role after President William Ruto dissolved the cabinet. Before her appointed to the position, she was the Senior Deputy County Commissioner 2 in charge of Nyando Sub-County in 2019. She previously worked in the State Department of Housing and Urban Planning. Langat was also the County Secretary at the County Government of Bomet between April 2020 to October 2021. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Right, thank you, Paul Kirobi, for that. And as Paul Kirobi rightfully says, Stella Soy Langat, she was the cabinet nominee for gender, but then she was not approved. So that puts the number to 19 cabinet secretary appointees now who are going to be sworn in this particular early morning, according to a dispatch from State House. This event is going to start at around 9 a.m. That's a few minutes from now. So we're going to be beaming those live pictures for you. But then just to take a look at what is also expected, because today is quite a busy day. So first off, on our news diary, the Nani Nani March, as dubbed, popularly dubbed, which is the August 8th protest, which has been organized by a coalition of youth groups as well as civil society organizations, is expected to take place today across various parts of the country. Taking a look at since end of June, this has been happening in over 40 counties in the country, so we wait to see how that will be happening. The main reason for the youth groups and civil society organizations, they say it is a response to matters hardship, economic hardship, as well as high unemployment and widespread corruption. Wait to see also if this event will be happening. President William Ruto began his 3-day tour to the Mount Kenya region. He was in Embu yesterday. He was flanked by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. This tour was supposed to continue in Murang'a and Kirinyaga counties for today, on Thursday, as well as concluding tomorrow on Friday. So wait to see if President William Ruto will be concluding his tour of the swearing-in ceremony, where he is set to preside over it and then head over to and continue the tour to the Mount Kenya region. Also happening in France today, the men's final javelin, Julius Yego will be flying Kenya's flag high. That is one of the main events that we're going to be looking at and see the race for the medals, and just hoping that Julius Yego will help us increase the number of medals. But then just before that event, which will be happening at 10 p.m. So before that, we're going to be also keeping our eyes on Faith Kipyegon as well as Susan Ejore, who will be participating in different heats of the 1500 meters women's semi-final. And then just before that, today at around noon, at 1 p.m. there, we're going to be having Koitatoi Kidali, who will be participating in heat 2 of the men's 800 meters repechage as well. Repechage is basically a French word for recover on that. But because I'd mentioned to you about the cabinet secretary and nominees, right now there are 19 of them. So we're going to be taking a look at who this cabinet secretary, not nominees now, appointees are. So on your screen, as you can see, the three of them, the three gentlemen there, the former chair of Orange Democratic Movement Party, that is John Mbadi, now cabinet secretary appointee of the National Treasury. He is going to be sworn in this morning. And then the former cabinet secretary for roads and transport, now cabinet secretary appointee for youth affairs, creative economy and sports, that is Kipchumba Murkomen. He has quite a lot on his plate. Both gentlemen actually, John Mbadi as well as Kipchumba Murkomen, have quite a lot on the plate right now, really, as well as Wycliffe Oparanya, who is former governor, now cabinet secretary appointee for cooperatives and MSME, that is micro and small medium enterprises development. When it comes to the Hustler Fund, quite a lot on his plate. That is the kind of faces you're going to be seeing today, just holding the Bible and taking their oath. Let's take a look at other cabinet faces that you're going to be seeing. Well, the first off, we were expecting her to also be sworn in, but then the Committee on Appointments for National Assembly said she is not approved. That is Stella Langat. But then others, Rebecca Miano, she was in the previous cabinet. Right now she is going to be cabinet secretary. After the swearing in, she's going to be cabinet secretary, tourism and wildlife. Rebecca Miano there. And then former minority leader in the National Assembly is Opiyo Wandayi, now getting into the docket for energy and petroleum. He also has quite a lot on his plate when it comes to the energy sector in the country. Other faces that you're going to be seeing today. Former Cabinet Secretary of Matters Energy as well, Salim Mvurya. Salim Mvurya was in the previous cabinet. Now he's going to be Cabinet Secretary Matters Investments, Trade and Industry. And then former Attorney General, now going to be Cabinet Secretary in the Public Service, Justin Muturi. And then former Cabinet Secretary in the previous cabinet, Alfred Mutua. He is going to be in the Labour and Social Protection. Into the next faces that, all right, we do have former governor for Mombasa is Hassan Joho into the mining and blue economy as well. We also have, now these are faces that you have seen over time, but then now we also have others that some who have maintained and others who have been swapped. First of who has maintained, Professor Kithure Kindiki into the interior sector. Aiden Duale, he was previously in the defense docket. He has been swapped into the environment. He's going to be sworn in this morning. Soipan Tuya was in the environment. She is now in the defense docket. Alice Wahome has maintained her position as Cabinet Secretary of Lands, and she's going to be sworn in today. Going to also be having Rebecca Miani in tourism. And then for faces that you might have been seeing them for the past few weeks, for the first time maybe, Dr. Deborah Mulongo, she is going to be now the Cabinet Secretary for Health after she's going to be sworn in, and just trying to see more about her portfolio. And she has over about 15 years of experience as well, and Julius Migosi as well into the education docket. This is just but a few of those who are you're going to see. And then let's see who else you're going to have. Dr. Andrew Muhia into the agriculture sector. So Dr. Andrew Muhia has about 36 years experience in public sector, both locally and internationally. He has a PhD in development economics and policy, as well as a master's in agricultural economics and a bachelor's in agriculture. He was previously in the State Department of Livestock. Also, Margaret Nyambura in technology and communication. She has been serving in this particular sector in matters communication as well. Let's see her portfolio. She is has a PhD, a renowned expert in matters internet governance. Her expertise includes internet infrastructure. She has a postdoctorate fellowship from Swain University in Pretoria, that is in South Africa, PhD from University of Nairobi. She has a master's from the University of Nairobi, Management of Science, and Bachelor's of Science in Information Science. Previously, she has served as Global Digital Inclusion Partnership. Those are just but a few of who you're going to be seeing. Also, the youngest possible, after Muga Muriithi is just soaring in away from being one of the youngest cabinet secretaries in the country. So Muga Muriithi, he is a civil engineer and a water resource enthusiast with over 8 years experience. He has a master's in civil engineering as well as a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. He is also an assistant project engineer at Water and Sanitation Development. These are the kind of faces that you're going to be seeing today at State House, the 19 cabinet secretary appointees. We're going to be beaming those live pictures. That event starts in about 29 minutes from now. So we're going to be having all eyes there. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.